in terms of really leading this session. But we're very happy to partner with HBCU, the Historically Black Colleges and Universities Climate Change Initiative, to co-host this session to really talk about youth leadership around environmental and climate justice. And so, without further ado, Beverly, right at you.
Okay, good evening. Welcome everybody to, for us, it's the first HBCU climate initiative session at this particular conference. We're very excited to be here. We have brought a total of 31 students of HBCUs from 15 universities, ranging from Texas to Pennsylvania. We also have 15 faculty members and 2 staff people at this particular event. Our young people are all in some way involved with community and research. And today, I hope that they get a chance to tell you about their interests, talk about their communities, and have some interactive kinds of conversations with you here in the audience. Dr. Robert Bullard, who's also one of our co-sponsors, is ill, and we have our people in our group, they seem to be falling like flies. There's something going around. The people are getting sick. So Dr. Bullard is down for the count, and we have 1 or 2 more falling, going down. So we hope by the end of this, we'll all be standing, right? But I'd like to turn it over to, I want to recognize our student coordinators. They are Mario Jones, Stephen Washington, and Simone English, who helped us coordinate this evening. I also want to recognize very quickly Dr. John Wofford, is in the room or on the hall. Maybe on the hall, who brings up the rear with everything that we're doing, making certain that everybody's in the place where they should be. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Stephen so that we can get started.
That's scary. Yeah, exactly. I found okay, great. So I'm gonna start putting like I can already tell like I don't yeah. Okay, yeah. So let me know whenever you're ready. We're gonna start filming. So I show her. Okay. You can go with that. I'll stay here and this. You go film that. Take that. Alice. Okay. So hang on. Yeah. Can't answer that question. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. This is the HBCU Climate Change Initiative. Thank you all for coming out afternoon and the NAACP youth panel. As Dr. mentioned, we're waiting on additional NAACP representatives to come forward. So we'll do a brief introduction of our panelists, and then we have our short icebreaker warm-up. Ariel Patterson. Ariel Yotwa, sorry. Andy Patterson. And Edwin Simpson. And myself, I'm doing multiple things today. And so overview the session, proactive solutions to address climate change risk and vulnerabilities in frontline communities. So it'll be an interactive session. We'll try our best to break it up into groups, give it a space. But at the end, our job is to create a youth vision or draft blueprint for how to address climate change vulnerability in our communities and our universities. And so the short icebreaker to warm up, just want to go around the room and see if you want, sorry, before you go in French. So if you need translation, they're going to do a brief translation for us as well. So we're gonna do a quick popcorn for our first icebreaker. Start with the front row and move over back. Let's see who you are, where you're from, and why you're here at COP 21. Yes, ma'am.
Denise Abdul Rothman, NAACP, Indiana, and I'm the Environmental Climate Justice Chair, and I'm here to help impact the negotiations of climate agreement.
I'm Rose Brewer from with the Roots delegation that's global justice and Afro Eco, which is the food justice organization in Minneapolis.
I'm Odile. I'm from the Lausanne. We are with many students of University EPFF and other one over there. And we are here for the COP 21.
I'm Andrea, and I'm part of the Association of EPFF from Lausanne.
I'm Morgan, and I'm with Amandine, Amanda, and Pauline, same team. I'm Sylvie Dupont, I'm from Paris, and I'm with the transition center. Erica from New York, I live in Paris, and I'm coming to work with transition, and I'm a part of the nature of the planet, grandmother of the planet, so I'm with you all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Jones. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Here representing National People's Action, Michigan United, and New Era Detroit. I'm here because I'm a candidate for state representative, and I want to be able to go home and give a global perspective on climate change and climate. A lot of our representatives are not taking a stand, not taking a frontline action-packed view of what's happening here and that needs to change.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm also with the EPFF Lausanne. Hi, I'm Bertil, and I'm also in the Swiss team.
Good and interesting.
Hi, my name is Peyton Wilkins. I'm from Detroit, Michigan as well. I'm here with the HBCU delegation, and we're out here to represent communities that we come from. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Melinda Abdullah. I'm here representing Worcester Roots and Youth Empowerment and Activism in Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm here with the It Takes Roots delegation.
My name is Maxine Murphy. I'm with Push Buffalo. I'm here representing a community of diverse groups of people from all over the world.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shanice Law, and I'm here from Craft University, and I'm here to advocate for climate justice.
Oh, hi, I'm Joanna, and I'm a labor union organizer.
My name is Catherine Flowers. I'm here with the Center for Earth Ethics at Union Theological Seminary. I'm a native of Lowndes County, Alabama, and I'm here representing a frontline community.
Good evening, Ife Kilimanjaro. Special shout out to HBC. I traveled here with the Gulf South Rising delegation representing frontline communities from the 5 Gulf South states.
I'm Catherine Eglin. I'm the chairperson for the NAACP National Board of Directors, Environmental and Climate Justice. I'm here as part of live in Gulfport, Mississippi, frontline community. We're geographically situated. We're vulnerable to environmental impacts. I survived the BP oil spill and Hurricane Katrina, and I'm here to have a stake in my destiny.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Amina Maxey. I'm all from Detroit, Michigan as well. I'm here with the It Takes Roots delegation as well as the Global Alliance for Incinerator Alternatives delegation.
All right, so just be brief, name where you're from.
Yes, hi, I am Agustina from Argentina. I am living there. The COP21 is here, and so I was originally to translate Spanish, but we all speak English, it's fine. So.
Just briefly, name and where you're from for the remainers.
Grant Johnson, Texas Southern University. I'm a faculty mentor for HBCU.
Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a student at Alabama University. Catherine from Montreal, Canada.
Hello everyone, David from New York.
Hamza from Algeria. I come from an organization called Environmental Justice North Africa, and I'm here to connect and
I'm Aurora. I'm from San Francisco Bay Area. I do green infrastructure work, and I also work with a Japanese media company, She Productions, and I'm here to translate to French if anyone needs it. Il y a quelqu'un qui a besoin de traduction en français, je le ferai pour vous.
I am Elisa from Italy.
Hi, I'm Shantia at Sloan University in
Lauren Wiggins from the HBC.
How y'all doing? My name is Abe Vargas with the It Takes Roots delegation representing the Environmental Justice League of Rhode Island, United States. Here representing frontline communities, the youth, in ways that we can have.
Hello, my name is Sarah Tatum. I am a student at North Carolina A&T University from Denver, Colorado.
Hi, my name is May McCormick. I'm here with the HBC Initiative for Southern University. I'm advocating for climate justice and environmental justice for the little people back home in my community, my nation, and my school.
Hi, my name is Alexa White. I'm a student at Howard University, and I'm here supporting the
Hi, my name is Sanjay Williams. I'm also a student at Howard University. I'm here with the HBCU Climate Change.
Good afternoon, I'm Leslie Fields. I'm the Environmental Justice Director for the Sierra Club in Washington, D.C.
My name is Emily Block. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, United States, and I'm here with the Sustaining All Life delegation. Hello, my name is Samantha Parker. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, and I'm also with the HBCU.
Hi, my name is Dean Hubbard. I'm the Director of the Labor and Economic Justice Program for the Sierra Club in Washington, D.C. in the United States.
Mari Piggott from Vancouver, Canada, youth delegate, Sustaining All Life.
Hey, my name is Brandon. My name is Brandon King. I'm an alumni of Hampton University. I'm currently based in Jackson, Mississippi with Cooperation Jackson. And I'm part of the 18th Group delegation.
Denise Young, Texas Southern University, HBCU Climate Change.
Elvira Hernandez, I'm here with the HBCU. I'm also representing Southern University and
My name is Julia Davis. I'm the First World
Hello, everyone. I am Ava Kane. I attend Florida Agricultural Mechanical University, and I'm here with the HBCU Climate Change Initiative.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Faith Lucas. I'm a Dillon University student, and I'm here with one HBCU Climate Change.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kiera Gray. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm here with the student delegation representing Dillon University.
Hello, my name is Isaac Wilkins. I am a senior at Social Science Community from Howard University, and I'm here representing the Climate Initiative. One of my knowledge
Hello, my name is Elisa Moss, representing Alabama University and working with colleges and university climate change initiatives. Hello, my name is Karen Magnet.
I'm Robert Brimley, and I'm with the
Hi, I'm Brittany Coleman. I'm here at University, and I'm with the
that expands and identifies the needs.
Assad, I'm from Israel. I'm student in Paris.
I'm Claire Lakewood. I'm from Center for Biological Diversity. I'm based in San Francisco office.
I'm Johan, citizen of Europe and environmental engineering student, Swiss team. I am David. I'm also part of the Swiss team from the
All right, thank you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get started our panelists. And so we're gonna start with Ariel Yarber. And each panelist is gonna have 7 minutes to talk about their research and how it applies to the computational process for the communities back at home in respective universities.
So before we move on, we want to make sure that everybody has a seat. We've given up our seats for people who want to sit. Are there any empty seats? No. Any empty seats? We have empty seats? Okay. So we have empty. We have 3.
Yes, please go ahead. Proceed.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ariel Yarber. I am a senior physics major at Howard University. And last summer, I spent 3 weeks on the island of Cape Verde, which is actually a group of islands off the coast of West Africa, but in particular, I was in the south. And we were conducting aerosol measurements. So basically, dust from the Sahara Desert travels throughout West Africa and into the atmosphere. And this dust is responsible for cooling the atmosphere. So it's very important to us. Or that's actually the hypothesis. We were testing that. So basically what we did was we launched aerosol sondes into the atmosphere using weather balloons. And we were able to determine the distribution of the aerosols in the atmosphere. And back at Howard University, we started to look at the transportation systems of the shuttles and calculate the carbon impact, carbon footprint. But there are a lot of different complications with doing this. In particular, Howard University administration does not like to withhold information. So one of the great things about this conference, number one, is increased awareness on our campus so that students are able to push these initiatives that we have. And yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kalen Patterson, senior math major at the Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes. So I have been working on research in biofuel production and increasing the feasibility of biofuel production over the last 2 years at my college. But also the work that I do, I've started my own environmental organization geared towards environmental management, looking into work with city planning and any way that we can help with any city, any state, any country to develop their environmental plan so that we can all move towards a more successful, climate change, initiative. And the reason I'm here at COP21 is to really learn what it means to, I guess, to have a policy, formed, because there has not been any strict policy in the state that I stay in, Atlanta. And so just to see what it's like to have people come up with that idea and to actually see it come to fruition. Also to, if I can in any way, encourage the cities and the states of America to work towards making a proper policy that will actually help not just the country but the world, because I also come from Trinidad and Tobago, which is where I was born and raised, and this does definitely impact my country because I come from a small island state. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Edwin Simpson. I come from Claflin University in Northwest South Carolina. My current research has been in environmental and public health issues. So I'm dealing with health disparities in minority communities. How I'm able to relate my research back to climate change is that as we arrive, climate change rises, and definitely if it rises above 2%, it affects new infections among people here on the earth, animals, in our communities as well, in rural and inner city areas. I would like to be able to get a better understanding that sorry, get a better understanding that how we can make a change in climate change and that it makes a change in the normal person's life as well. It being a huge part of public health.
Okay, so last panelist, Stephen Washington, Texas University graduate student, and I'm here at COP21 to advocate for frontline communities in the city of Houston. We're facing a $100 million ship channel expansion from the Port of Houston, an increase in container cargo, also an increase in refinery infrastructure projects. And so my master thesis project was a qualitative study on community perceptions and environmental exposures and how urban planners can advocate using advocacy planning framework to address participation within transportation projects. Before leaving the community, I was told to come here and raise the awareness of those communities and to the how many we got. One in particular is as the port expands and they receive more money, those communities also receive further training, using environmental impact assessments, but coupling those environmental impact assessments with health impact assessments to ensure that public health risk to those vulnerable communities. And so I had to keep a promise before I left that I would advocate for Pleasantville here while I was in this community. And so that's why I'm here at COP21 to make sure that those frontline communities are not left out with the expansions at the I'm gonna sit down, sorry. All right, so there's many of us in the room, but the ideal purpose of being here is not only to talk about our research, but for us to leave away with a draft blueprint on how we're going to go back to our communities. And so we're trying to get as close to that as possible, dealing with the space and the individuals in the room. So there will be, so work with us the best way you can, please, on the space and adjusting. We have going to have 3 groups, and in those groups, there'll be one prompt. There'll be a problem, and the second prompt will be the solution to address that problem. And so we're going to ask that people stay on schedule, and so that we can report back from our groups. And so we're going to start with the students, and so we're going to go A, B, and C, and then we're going to have A's, B's, and C's going together. So,
A.
C? Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yes, that's right. Sorry about
Yeah,
that,
it's
guys.
no place to
If
move,
you on the
so we
side,
just
if you on
do
the
one
side of this
side,
room,
2, 3, A, B,
we decide this room would be group A, going all the way back to the back wall. From this row here is all A, going towards the to my left, your right. Anyone else in the middle is group B, and everyone against the wall towards the window. And so we have 3 facilitators. Charmise, DeWalt, raise your hand, please, for the people. Isaac Wilkins, and then Adria Peters. All right. So earlier we discussed who you partner with. So return to your respective groups, and they'll provide you with the problem so that you can begin addressing climate change vulnerability solutions in our frontline communities.
let's move quickly.
So are we staying in this room?
Yes. You're A.
Excuse me. I got a what is
Hey guys, so we're group B. I hope you guys can hear me and I'm not interrupting everyone else. So this is the question that we're going to come together and we're going to talk about. So the question is how to educate the K-12 audience on climate justice. So we're going to come together and talk about like throw out ideas about a solution to this issue. Okay? Okay. Yes. Like middle school, elementary, middle school, high school, high school. So 5 to 18. Yeah. Don't be afraid of each other.
I'm A.
I'm French.
My interest is in physics, so that's all I know.
You guys, he's sharing some of his ideas. You can point around.
Right now, I'm in a morehouse, and eventually a morehouse, and my fiance. So I said, like, we should incorporate into this lesson, like, we talk about, like, free lunch, and talk about their work, their happy environment. And I also said, like, we talk about science, talk about science, and talk about how like technology and animals, and also how like people and how it's like really marginalized. It's a lot of things are not having
I'm just trying. We have a kid that hasn't eaten and she's feeling. Yes.
Hey everybody, we're just working in small groups discussing solutions to climate change and answering the questions Mario posed earlier. So that's what all the background noise is lots of different people working on lots of different things.
Monday coming all over the day. I'm like looking forward to it later. I'm gonna have
Yeah, so I'm not going to do a good job of all this, but if somebody reports out, yes, we should be able to point the mic at them. We just,
Five minutes, give it 5 minutes. There's 5 workers that put back minutes, please, 5 minutes.
Okay, let's talk about our so
there are people like my city know that we're running out of water. And so it would be important for everyone to know where that water is. And really important to know that it's important that we need to talk about water right now. We're fighting over water for everyone.
Hey, folks, so in just a minute, we're going to get some report backs from the small groups that are working here. That's the noise you hear in the background is everybody talking about problems and solutions to the issue of climate justice. And in just a second, we're going to get some report backs. It'll be a little easier for you to hear because we'll bring people up front near this microphone. Thanks.
New Orleans with the gathering around Katrina. I didn't make it to y'all's event, but I was as far as a lot of people
Announcement about it, or you got it? Okay. Whatever you want. I can tell people where to stand or whatever.
Yeah, I've been instructing them to come to their laptop or basically whatever you want. For Birmingham, they could be here. Okay, so I'm going to take this right now.
What's that?
I'm going to announce before you, or you can reiterate.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm going to make an announcement and you can reiterate something if they're not doing the right location.
I met his sister last time. She tells me, he's the dean of.
He gonna stay right there. No, right here.
They're getting everyone together. So are you facilitating?
I had poker.
You surprised they weren't people.
Yes. You guys are pointing back. You're gonna stand here because the mic is there. It's gonna capture all the audio. All right. That's where you stand.
Okay.
We're calling you up. So
Speakers to line up, maybe going that way.
what?
The speakers can line up, kind of.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Sure. How about you? I know they said school, but I'm really stubborn. Bro, I'm pretty stubborn. So you want to do the first half and I'll be back? Yes. Yeah, you can start and then I'll just follow up wherever you want to start.
You gotta line up and speak with the microphone.
Oh, so we need to loud? Yeah. Or do you want, so we're not speaking first? This one? Yeah, towards Stephen. Thank you all for participating. I appreciate your response.
Thank you for very sharp remarks. If you hear me, clap twice. If you hear me, clap twice. Everybody clap 3 times.
We're ready to go. Our first speaker, we're doing report back now. Report back. And we're gonna do A, B, and C, and I think every group has more than one person reporting back.
Don't do that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharmise DeWalt, and we're from Group A. Simone English. And our question was, how can you educate faith-based organizations on climate justice? And the most important thing that I took from it was, and we all did as a group towards the end, was it's basically focus on the communities that need it the most, the ones who are impacted the most at first. But one solution I was thinking, and Simone mentioned it as well, was starting with the young kids in Sunday schools and educating them on how things can impact the environment and getting them environmentally focused towards reducing their impact, carbon footprint, And we have a bunch of different solutions from different people.
Okay, so one recommendation is that we could start environmental ministry groups in the universities and schools. The universities have the power to bring people together, so we could do museums, have exhibits in museums that are non-denominational, so art and everything that will teach about climate change and why we need to make a change. Agriculture was one thing that we can talk about because some of the communities, they have economic and social issues. Agriculture can bring people together. They could do seed banking, we could have gardens. So that's another way to educate faith-based communities.
And you could even have gardens on the church grounds, like have or either off base and have the community like plant their own seeds and come pick their own plants. A great thing.
And I guess one last one is that on campuses, there are already student ministries, students that are linked to faith-based organizations. And what if we could get those students that already exist on campuses to take back the messages to these institutions? Thank you.
This is group B. Group B.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
My name is Adria. This is Group B and was K through 12. Around ages 5 to about 18.
Into smaller groups, so I'm gonna start off. And the first and most obvious solution to educating the K-12 audience in climate justice was obviously through school. These individuals are usually young people that go to school. So our first suggestion was to implement climate justice information into school programs. One of our members had mentioned that almost every subject in school, chemistry, biology, English, no matter what it is, has some relation to climate justice. So to add these, to put these in together, maybe 1 week, just a small mention, just to get people thinking about it from a small age. That's a good solution to maybe in biology. Of course, climate justice has to do with biology, chemistry, and all of us, so history, whatever it is, it can be. They're all involved. They're all connected. Another idea we had was to make it fun. These are young people. Young people love to have fun. We know that little kids don't want to sit down thinking about brainstorming ideas for climate. So yeah, so we have to find ways for them to have fun doing it. Find ways, maybe put a basketball hoop over a recycle can. Just anything get into it, the concept there to their hearts, So that's what our came up with.
So our little subgroup came up with the idea of environmental curriculum of Atlanta, Georgia. I attend Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee. So we came up with the idea of incorporating into the curriculum, just as my friend Luke said. We suggested specifically like history and science, but with the historical aspect of such as the Louisville flood of 1939. When that occurred, a lot of the Black people in the West, and they were so about things in history about slavery and how climate directly affects those marginalized groups. So I think in history class, that should be something that we learn about. Also,
we have suggestion of and activities with the goal of understanding climate change. You gave a great example, so I won't even go on top that. So we know that kids right now are really involved into social media. So we think just little facts about climate justice on social media, that's really important because like children, they do pay attention to it. Like even at age 5, like I know a little girl who's in elementary school, she has about what we're saying and be mindful of what we're saying on social media. Also artwork. We had somebody gave the idea of when we have an activity, we should maybe incorporate it into art. If there's an activity dealing with climate change, we should ask somebody, hey, write a poem about it, write a song about it. Why don't you journal about the picture of climate change and how it affects peak group. We also had the idea of the edible schoolyard. So I'm sure everyone has heard of like how we have gardens in schools now, but often um, in certain, those of you all who don't know how there may be a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or any kind of organic food in a certain area, generally rich, what in Black neighborhoods, you won't see things like that. So I think it's important for those people in those poorer communities to actually know how to plant the food that will be beneficial to them.
My name is Sina. I am also with her subgroup. I am a youth organizer for the Environmental Justice League of Rhode Island. I'm here in Paris to actually represent It Takes Roots delegation. So, another idea that we had was like more conversations, like actually having youth be in the conversation of climate change, having them understanding or even learn about it so they can teach other youth. Another one is like having students actually teach the climate justice or environmental justice or climate change curriculums in school. I actually did that recently on the progressive era. Like I even mentioned like the World March of Women, environmental justice, all that. So with my organization, we actually have like a summer program where it's 8 weeks, 3 days a week, where we teach youth ages 12 to 18 about Revolution 101, environmental justice and food justice. And when they're interested, they get to come back to our after school program that we have throughout the school year called Eco Youth, Eco standing for Environmental Community Organizers, to like actually take actions, build up their skills, like come up with projects that they want to do. Like for example, we just started a gorilla garden in one of the communities, what we're planning to. Another idea was having them be involved in like the world process of like climate change. For example, like me here, having access to actual nature, like actually like say for example like a camping trip. Like my organization, we also do like a little camping trip where we take them to an Indian reservation.
All right, guys. So my group, my great group, was tasked with the responsibility to educate, or basically to come up with a strategy. First off, addressing the issues, pledging how to motivate and to educate the elderly, as well as form a contingency plan or a mechanism to do so. And they have Asia Kane, who's going to basically discuss the problems that my group came up with, and then we're going to have Peyton Wilkins, who's going to discuss the solutions that he came up with to address this issue. And my name is Isaac Wilkins, by the way. I attend Howard University. I'm a political science major with a chemistry background.
So some of the problems that we identified was the lack of understanding, the lack of awareness, the lack of environmental consciousness. Another problem would be selfishness, and also the delivery, i.e. the language. And honestly, elders really don't like change. So. Oh, and I am from Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University.
Hello, my name is Peyton Wilkins. I'm an alumni of the illustrious Dillard University in New Orleans, Louisiana. All right, now we have discussed the hurdles that we need to, the obstacles that we need to hurdle, some of the solutions that we developed, and I'll try to talk a little bit slower. Some of the solutions that we seeing to address this issue. The first would be to meet the elderly where they're at. So whether that means VA hospitals or Social Security offices. Another solution was putting our message and framing it in a lexicon that they can understand, right? And really framing it in ways that it becomes relative to them. So teaching them, we talked about how a lot of elderly face issues about cold, right? So when it gets cold, the arthritis starts to flare up. And so, explaining to them that there's a connection between the weather changing and, your health and yeah. So another solution that we had was giving out free meals and like putting in little note cards into the free meals. And we realized that a lot of our elders are on fixed incomes, right? So offering an incentive and actually have an opportunity to talk to them is a great approach. Our last solution is a multi-generational approach. So really it's bridging the gap between like the K through 12, teaching them and then having them to go talk to the elderly, right? And not to just talk, but to give them the opportunity to listen, and that was it. Thank you.
All right, guys. So we have one general topic to propose to you all. This is being all the testimonies are recorded, and so what we're going to do is transcribe those testimonies and solutions to draft up a blueprint on how we can go back to our communities and share this information. So this question really could be for anyone in the audience who wants to come up and address the question. How do we as students take that draft blueprint and work through our communities and universities to make sure this is seen and put into action rather than this being lip service, if you will. So feel free, anyone who wants to answer the question, you can raise your hand, you can come forward to the mic. Come forward. Okay. So the question again is, this is being transcribed, being recorded. It will be transcribed and put into a draft blueprint. How do we as students take this forward in our communities and universities as an action plan?
I don't think I need the mic. I think one of the biggest ways we could do it as far as being students in school is multimedia. As far as like she said, every second or I think it's a science that has been done. Every so many seconds, a college student is pulling out their phone, looking at either Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, something. If you're constantly seeing something, your subconscious is going to bring that in, and you're not even knowing it. They're like, hey, what's climate change? So next time somebody sees something about climate change, basically it's going to become a part of your habit, and basically I think it's really going to open up your mind and open up your awareness about climate change. Also being a student, when it comes to stuff like this in university, we have trustees, we have professors. If you're steady talking about this on your campus, just like anything else, just like gossip spreads, also positivity spreads as well. So whatever you're talking about, I feel like as students, I feel like we have the voice as far as overall. I talk real fast, just like Peyton, I apologize. But I feel like as students, we have so much power to the point to where anything we talk about, I want to make big, that basically we have the power to push it out. So whether it's talking about professors, talking to trustees, social media, even advocating things, just like we wear Nike, just like we wear Jordans, we could wear things that advocate climate change. We could wear t-shirts, we could wear hats, whatever it takes, wristbands, whatever it takes. I feel like once you embrace climate change and actually understand what it is, bringing it out cafeterias, understand, hey, where do you get your food from? Has your food been affected? You know, things in the nature. I feel like we have a wide spectrum of how we can really embrace climate change. And I think we as a people, regardless of race, embrace climate change, then it will be, you know, it will affect the, I guess, a plunger of people, I guess. So that's what I'm saying. So thank you.
Hi again, Kaylin Patterson. I think my point really is let this be the last conversation. We're about to turn this, as he said, into an actual physical blueprint. Why not just, instead of actually going and talking about it with people, why not actually make it happen? We had great solutions from different student panelists here. And different, representatives here. And so everyone, basically gave an idea that is actually active, something that they can actually go home and do, something that their group can do, their university can do, their city can do. So like I said, let this be the last conversation. Let's go back home, take the blueprint, and actually make it into something physical. That's it.
Hey again, everybody. My name is Takasha from Spelman College with the HBCU Climate Change Initiative. And I'm really excited about the blueprint that we all came up with today. I'm very excited to go back to my school and just inform my peers on everything that I've learned this past week and next week at COP21. And I think it really starts with going back into our schools and informing our students, making them aware of climate change, climate justice, environmental justice, and starting to build coalitions amongst majors, amongst student government organizations. And a lot of us go back into the communities. We tutor, we mentor, and so many things. So we really have, I believe the youth is the biggest voice when it comes to getting the challenges that we have with climate change fixed. So just really going back and building awareness, finding solutions amongst the students, and just connecting us all together.
Hi, Janice Young again from Texas Southern University. One thing that I would like to say on record is the importance of political activism. We understand that we are students, and most of the time students say, well, I'm from this particular state, but I attend school in this particular state. But people don't understand you have to be stewards of your community wherever you are. If that's the work you have to do for 3 to 4 years or 4 to 5 years, then you need to make yourself in that place, mind, body, and soul. So the fact that you are there, get registered to vote, get active, make your political leaders accountable for the time that you are there. Show up in their face, the town hall meetings, make sure that there are things on the ballot that represent your voice and represent your community voice in terms of the things that have to be dealt with for frontline communities and climate justice. You are advocates, and you can see things sometimes from the outside that sometimes people don't know how to articulate even when they are in their hometown. So those are things that you can do. But please make sure that you are always politically active, and make sure your political leaders understand that there needs to be some level of climate change awareness or activism that they are going to address while they are in office. It doesn't matter what level, whether it's city, county, state, or federal. Thank you.
I'm still a junior in high school, so I'm pretty young. But as a high school student or like a university college student, I think like as a student, start off small. Like start off with like your little siblings or even your little cousins. Teach them what it's all about: climate change, climate justice, environmental justice, even environmental racism, because that's very important too. Start off small so they can tell their friends, or you can, or like young youth students like myself can tell like each other, like tell our friends, tell your friends about like everything, and then they can tell other people and they can tell other people, because like us youth, like we're tired of listening to our teachers. Like we don't want to hear any other adult tell us about other things. We don't want to listen. Hearing it from each other, hearing it from each other's youth, from friends, like we have that bond, we have that connection. And even if it's just like stranger youth, like if I didn't know you, like I would still be open to listen to you because you're youth, you're my age. Like I'm open to that. We have that connection because we're both youth. So that's like one suggestion that I think.
Hello again. By show of hands, how many have heard of the fossil fuel divestment movement? So I worked on, as a student, I worked on the fossil fuel divestment, and which is every school has an endowment on money that they put in stocks, and most schools are actually invested in the oil industries, which are creating this climate change problem. And so before we can even get to the solution, we need to stop supporting the enemy. And so, and it's important that we, honestly, we have to vilify and we have to call it like it is. The oil companies are doing a lot to stop progress, and we can't support that by putting our money in. And our tuition is going because our tuition is used for the endowment. So we pushed our university to for divestment. It took 3 years. It was a concerted effort, and we finally got them to divest from coal. And it's as much as a moral reason as it is also financial reason, because the oil industry is always going up and down, and you can lose money because it's not stable. Even if you don't get it, what it kind of shines a light on, a lot of universities talk about sustainability and how they're doing all these great things for climate change, but then you find out that they're invested in the oil industry. And this goes for the same. We've also moved on to get our city to divest. Right now, we're pushing the Gates Foundation, the richest charitable foundation, to divest because they're trying to do work on climate change, and yet they are invested in the oil industries. And so we did everything from kayaking in front of Bill Gates' house to storming the foundation. And recently, when we had a press conference to talk about this, we invited leaders from throughout the region. Gates at the same time as, and we had invited him to our press conference. He didn't show up, but he actually announced the largest investment in renewable energy ever. And so, this stuff works. And even though investment in renewable energy is half the solution, it's important we also divest.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Rogers Wright. I'm the policy director with Environmental Action. And when I look around this room and I see, all these amazing faces and all these commitments, it reminds me that climate change is nothing more than a system of oppression. That's, first and foremost, that's all it is. And so when people ask me if I'm an environmentalist, I say kind of, but, to topple this type of oppression, we have to get into the mentality of being abolitionists. Okay. When you think about what William Lloyd Garrison was willing to do, get those lights in. There we go. Well, William Lloyd Garrison was willing to do what John Brown was willing to do, was to topple oppression. And the lovely sister from Texas Southern said it absolutely right. You see what happened at the University of Missouri a few months ago. Students have a lot of power. And then it turned into a wave. It turned into a wildfire wave from students from all across the country. Small schools, big schools, they were shutting it down and they were making their demands heard. So don't let anyone ever tell you that you don't have the power. And one thing I'm going to say, and it's not to get favor with anyone in particular, is that if we are going to defeat this system of oppression, we are definitely going to have to increase our leadership as it pertains to women. Women have to lead this because it just comes down to that. And so, when we see amazing leaders like Dr. Beverly, right, it really does remind us that we have that power. So, just take it back, really. You're abolitionists. That's what you're going to have to do to topple this system that continues to oppress people, especially people who look like me. So thank you.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Adria Peterkin. I'm a senior chemical engineering major at Howard University. A colleague and mine have been looking into the HBCU divestment from fossil fuels, as this young lady has just stated. So it is very important for us to divest in these in fossil fuels, just because of the fact that if we continue to get funds from them, then we're kind of encouraging them. So the issue with us, of course, we have to start at home before we go branch out to anywhere else. So at Howard, the issue is getting the records to see exactly what we're involved in, what we're invested in. And it's very difficult, and that's been our struggle, and that's what we're continuously doing right now. Figure out what are we invested in. I know in the engineering department, we are invested in Exxon because we have a partnership with them. So it's about looking into that and seeing what we can do to divest from these companies to show them that they don't have the power over us. So this is a continuous project, and I feel like everyone should look into it for themselves as well.
One quick announcement: there are 2 pads going around the room. Make sure you provide your contact information, name, email, country. We'll make sure that you all can have access to the draft blueprint once it's available. So make sure there's 2 pads going around. Make sure you provide the contact information on those pads circulated around the room.
Okay, so I'm really impressed with there being concrete. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay. First of all, let me introduce myself. So I'm Sakajuia Hall Saki. I am from New York originally. I live in Jackson, Mississippi now. I'm with Cooperation Jackson, and we're also a part of the It Takes Roots delegation. And so I wanted to say that I'm impressed with the intergenerational conversation, and not only it being a conversation, but there being concrete objectives and outcomes. And I've heard several people say that they don't want it, they want it to move from talk to action, right? So I'm just gonna throw out a couple of ideas. So what if each of you who represent a school pick 1 to 2 points on the blueprint, right? We're not all gonna do them all. And you may already have an organization in your area that's working on one. So it's an easy partnership for you to be able to make and link. A Facebook group. You can create a Facebook group with the contact information that's being collected right now. And then give yourself a challenge. In the next 6 months, you're going to be on the Facebook group and you're going to report back on which of the blueprint pieces you decided to take on and what you all are doing or what you plan on doing. And then 6 months later, for a year, you can actually create like a Twitter, Facebook day conversation amongst colleges, HBCUs, where folks who were here can say a year later, this is what we've done, and put out a broader challenge to other universities, students and professors to do the same thing. It probably needs someone to help coordinate and facilitate. Dillard. So identifying, someone, a group, institution that has some resources that could actually support a student being able to, or a couple of students being able to check in with each other around the country to help make that happen. Not only is there a divest, there's a reinvest. So if you don't know about the reinvest, Google it. Okay.
Can I read? Okay, I just.
While they're going over.
Okay, whatever.
I want to make a brief introduction. Our 2 NAACP delegates have arrived, so they're going to make a brief introduction of themselves.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shalise Smith. I'm from the Houston branch of the NAACP, and I'm also a youth delegate. And so basically what we've done, we've put on different tribunals in our community where we've collaborated with different organizations, and we were able to gather testimony from different community members. And so it was a great experience. We collaborated with the HBCU students from Texas Southern University, and we also collaborated with Dr. Robert Buller. And so we were able to gather a lot of information from them in terms of different things that are occurring, like illegal dumping, hazardous chemicals, just different things that are taking place in Houston, along with different organizations who are combating those issues. And so we had that information to give to you all today, but as it is at the end of the program, we just kind of wanted to give just
We're
like
saving it for tomorrow.
Yeah, we have an event tomorrow where we'll be presenting that information. But we're very excited to be here, and hopefully you all will be able to attend the event tomorrow. It's at 10 a.m. And so we're just excited to be here. Thank you.
Well, Delise said it all. I'm Helen Casa. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm the NAACP San Jose Youth Chapter President, and I just termed out as the Education Chair for the California and Hawaii Division.
So I did the same, but instead of Texas and California, I hosted tribunals and et cetera, and I gathered things, and we put together a nice video, and we really hope all of you guys can make it tomorrow. We apologize for being late. We're trying to figure out the metro.
Yeah.
And we have no internet on our phone, so we struggled.
Yeah.
No Google Maps.
Yeah. It's been an
You feel it?
experience.
Yeah, but we made it, so.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Oh, yes, oh, yeah, that's location, where the location.
It's a Worcester Provide, which is Apostol Republic, which is Republic on the. It's a Worcester Provide. Yeah, Worcester Provide. Actually, it's room Jean Jaurès. Like that's the name of this place. That's the name of the room.
I just, it's wonderful to be here in Paris and be among lots of Americans who, it's amazing to come here and be part of this a conversation. To follow up on divestment, as far as citizens of America of the United States subsidizes the petroleum industry. That means not only do your student dollars go to the petroleum companies, our tax dollars subsidize the petroleum industry. They also subsidize the military. We need to demand transparency of our tax dollars. And as students, you have a lot of power to demand that transparency. So I just encourage us all to really to demand to see where our money is going and to start to get involved in determining where that should go.
Yeah. All right, so no more report backs. We want to begin wrapping things up. Just a follow up. If you're on Twitter, make sure you follow our Twitter page at EJHBCU. Again, that handle is at EJHBCU. Also, we have our Facebook page, which is the HBCU EJ Consortium. And then lastly, consortium. Lastly, we still have bills to pay once we leave Paris. We have a GoFundMe page, HBCU Road to Paris. Any and all donations are welcome, so please find it in your heart.
And back. We should have put Road to Paris and back.
round trip.
Yeah, so make sure you help us out. Any and all donations are welcome. We greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure you put your contact information down on the pad so we can get you the draft blueprint for your review. Dr. White, give to Mrs. Patterson to make the closing remarks.
I guess I'll let Jackie close it out, but I just want to say that I am just thrilled to be here. I'm so excited, about the hopefully new mindset we're helping to form in our young people. I am a sociologist, an environmental sociologist. I was I was young once. See, I couldn't even say that. I was young once, and I remember the energy that we had then when they were talking about the elderly. I started checking. Oh, arthritis, weather changing. All of that is true, but as the young people who went to our Katrina 10 March will tell you, I can outrun them. Yeah. To take good care of yourself, you need to be around for a long time. We need you to be here, but we have faculty members who have worked with us, with these young people, helping and developing their research and hopefully helping to train their minds. Was always a professor that believed in research and action. So research means nothing if it's just on the shelf, right? And we believe in applying that to our communities. It's all about developing, promoting, supporting our communities. And we're all looking forward to a world when things are fairer. I hope it's not just in heaven. We are looking for some of that to happen here on earth. And we have to get busy working towards that end. I thank you again for supporting our students, and we are having a fabulous time. I've been to Paris 4 times, but I have to tell you, it's more beautiful now than what it was any other time that I came. I'm having a fabulous time. I'm from Nouvelle Orleans, Louisiana. We were colonized by the French. Louisiana was bought, the U.S. bought Louisiana from the French. So this city reminds me so much of home. It's just amazing. It's beautiful, it's fun, it's dirty. Like Bourbon Street, it's just amazing how similar we are. I can tell you New Orleanians are French in every sense of the word. So thank you again for supporting us, Jack.
Okay, they told me to step closer to the mic, but just on a practical note, this is the third of a 5-part series. If people have been getting the emails, we started with a faith gathering where we talked about faith, race, and climate change. And then earlier today, we had a session with the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance and others really coming together to talk about next steps and how we're going to combine agendas around the agenda in the global north, the global south, and communities of color and low-income communities in the global north. And then tomorrow, as we said before, we have this 3-hour session where we're really going to roll up our sleeves and develop a blueprint for how we're going to work together and developing South-North partnerships between the global South and then also with diaspora groups in the global North. I know we're from Trinidad and from different places, so we really want to gather with the different diaspora organizations in the United States and France and the UK, and then really connecting with the global South, our global South allies and partners and so forth. So we're hopefully folks can join us for the 3-hour session tomorrow from 10 to 1, and you'll get the email. If you're on the email list that got you here, then you'll get the emails about tomorrow as well. It'll actually be not here. It'll be at the Place de la République, which is, and the name of the place is Bourse du Travail. Anyway, I'll send you the address and all that. And then on Thursday, we're going to kind of wrap up with an hour and a half where we're going to kind of present out to the world what we've been talking about in these 4 sessions. And we're actually planning a small Black Lives Matter action as part of the Thursday event. We definitely see how that all links together, and we'll be doing that at the Generations area at Le Bourget, but in the green zone where everybody has that. So, thank you all. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. Make sure you have the contact information written down, please.
Hey everybody, so we're wrapping up here. As you can tell, great announcements, some more events to come with our partners at NAACP and the historically Black colleges and universities who are speaking today. Look forward to talking to you more from Paris. Thank you.